Hi everyone. So it's Tuesday. It's one of my only days off this week. My schedule's not as bad as that makes it sound, but I'll be able to get some videos out throughout the week if I need to. But yeah, this is pretty much my only time I wake up, time I go to bed, full day off. So I have time today. I figured I'm gonna get to some videos that I felt I should get to. Just felt I should talk about. And these are both Pokemon related, both dealing with Pokemon Sun and Moon. The first video we're talking about today is now when we had the newest trailer for Sun and Moon come up, I did an analysis for that. I did a region review. I'll have both of those in the description. But we also got some shorter trailers, some of the Japanese trailers that were released, and it revealed actually a little bit more than what we thought we were going to get. So what I pretty much decided to do, and I've done this once before, when Batman v Superman was still not out yet, like around Comic-Con, when we got like that 20-second clip. I'm gonna basically go. This is basically gonna be an update video. Now we're gonna get more information on the 14th. I think we're also getting more information with Koro and the 17th with something else going on with that. So E3, some live stream thing or some Pokemon News channel thing, and Koro. We're probably getting information on all three of those. But before that, I figured I would just do a sum up video, what we know for sure, do a little speculation, things along those lines, for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So that's what I'm going to do today for this video. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So what do we know for sure? Well, right now we know for certain that the region is the Alola region. It is based off Hawaii. It has 4 main islands with. I did count, by the way, and I mean I've counted before I did it in the region video, that there's technically 8 islands. Again, I'm not going to go into real in-depth on the region itself. I'll talk a little bit about it. Because you got the 4 main islands that we see right there. We got the what's pretty much going to be the Pokemon League, that artificial one. So that's 5 islands. You got the little one right below the canyon one where you're probably going to meet the legendaries. That's 6. You got one that's hidden up right in the corner of the map where they're hidden by clouds, where you see kind of a giant palm tree there. That's 7. And I've looked at it. It can be debatable whether this is the 8th island or not. But I'm going to kind of assume it's the 8th island. And then you got, when we go to what I'm assuming is the 2nd. So let's say there's that one. So this is the main island you start at. You move over to this island right here. There's this second, you could call it like a extension, a little branch off. But I think it's, if you really look at it, besides the path there is a forest that connects it, but it's kind of barely connected by the forest and the road. I kind of view it as an 8th island. A small island, mind you. Smaller than most of the other ones, but an island nonetheless, with a graveyard, a forest, and a town that more likely has a gym on it. But the Alola region, I mean, this... I can't remember the last time I've actually been excited because of how our region itself looks. Because thinking back on, because I didn't play it for the original Jink. I played the remakes, Leaf Green and Fire Red. But I played Gold and Silver, the original ones. I remember looking at the map, but it wasn't that impressive. The Hoenn map's interesting, but it just looks like the Hoenn map. It doesn't look that impressive. Sinnoh map's a little bit better, but still, you're not getting much out of that. The Unova map was a lot more in-depth, where you're like, you're curious how it's exploring. Obviously, I think it's because they updated the art style for the map drawing. And then, same could be said for the Kalos, even though as much as I loved exploring, like, looking at what the Kalos map looked like, trying to figure out where stuff was, I still wasn't, like, overly wowed by Kalos reason. This one, I'm like, where the hell is stuff in this? I want to know what that is. I want to know what that is. I want to go here. I want to go there. Can't wait to see what's going to be there. What Pokemon are there? I'm really intrigued by this map, you know? Like, maybe the gym for the first island isn't in the main city. Maybe it's hidden behind the waterfall or something. That'd be cool, I think. Or maybe there's 2. Maybe there's one in the city, one behind the waterfall that you can't access right away. Something along those lines. There's a lot of stuff that it could be about. A lot of stuff that it could go. So I dig this entire look. And I also like the fact that because of how actually diverse Hawaii is, we like that big island, the main big island right down there. You got the snow-covered caps where you can find new ice types, where the ice types can be. Because it's Hawaii. That was a big concern for me, and I think a lot of people was like, Hawaii's, I mean, it's a highly tropical region. This is the most tropical we've gotten out of region. It's going to look beautiful, by the way, which I'll touch on the animation a little bit. But it was begging the question: how are you gonna like show? Because Hoenn's the best comparison to this, best one you could say share similarities to, and that it has islands and things like it's definitely on the warmer side. It's like kind of a tropical based region. This one is far more tropical, based off Hawaii. All the other first four were based off areas in Japan. So, and by the way, I like so long I assume they're going to continue making generations of Pokemon until it's not profitable anymore. I like the fact that they are also branching away from Japan, branching away from areas in Japan to base off to base the design for the region off of, because there's only so much diversity you can get from that. Whereas if you go for different locations in the world, there's far more diversity. And Domino's back here. Hello, Domino. And then she's trying to get wood. And this Domino's going through a weird phase where we got wood here from all over the place. You can see some in the fire pit right there. But like there's wood from broken chairs and stuff that we'll use for fires. And she's just dragging it all underneath this one tree. Like, yeah, this is my little stockpile of wood. I'm happy. No, but I'm glad that we can finally get different locations. Like like right now we're focused on Alola, but I'm also curious. Like, okay, after Alola, assuming we get Gen 8 after this, what's going to be the next region we go to? What's going to be based off of? It's probably if I were to guess, and I know I'm just far speculating right now. It probably would be a region that's a bit more temperate, with a bit more like it's maybe based off India or part of Asia of some kind, like the Himalayas in India, something along those lines. Like a good chunk of Asia, I could see it being based off of, or something along that. Maybe Australia based, something like that. There's a lot you can still do because the world is huge. So I like the whole basing the region on that. We know it's split into 4 islands, main islands. One of them is apparently based on the because we learned this from the Rotom Pokedex. Because thank you, Game Explain, for explaining this. The first island apparently is called each island has its own regional Pokedex. But we'll go into the Rotom Pokedex anyway, because that was where I was segueing anyway. And that they call the first island Melee Melee, I believe. And that's in Japan. It could be called something different in the English translation, but it's called Melee Melee. So each island actually has its own name. It's going to have its own diversity. And the Pokedex, apparently, first off, the Pokedex was reading 1% for the Pokedex, where you caught one, your starter, and you've seen 3, the other 2 starters plus yours. So that begs a serious question on that, though, is that for the regional Pokedex, is that the 1% is for what you've caught, or is the 1% what you've seen? I'm going to say it's what you've seen, because if the 1% is literally just what you caught, that means there's only 100 Pokemon in game that you can catch. That would be stupid. That would be dumb. That would make no sense. I mean, I could be wrong, maybe, but I really don't think that is the case. If I were to guess, it's like 300 Pokemon. There's probably space it's probably spaced, I wouldn't say 75, like 75 per island, but it's something along the lines of maybe the first island has on the lower, because this first island's the smallest island, like has like 50 Pokemon. Second island actually has more than that, like 75. Second island has like third island has like 100 Pokemon, and then whatever the final amount. Yeah, and there's 75 and all that. So yeah, the big island would have the most diversity for Pokemon. But no, let's be clear, it's also factoring evolution in too. So that's what the number does. But I highly doubt there's a 100 Pokemon in the just region. But then the Pokedex itself, we saw the artwork for it. It looks, we saw the artwork and the in-game artwork. That looks cool. And then the Rotom feature. The Rotom feature is very interesting. Now, I do wonder if the Rotom feature is, again, something where we are going to get a Rotom as a gift. We got to catch a Rotom in an event. Does a Rotom get included in our Pokedex? From what I could gather, I'm going to say no, it does not get included in our Pokedex, because the Pokedex entry did not read the Rotom on the Pokedex. That's not to say Rotom might not be able to be catched in this region. It's just that, and a lot of people are kind of iffy on Rotom. I actually like Rotom. Rotom's a cool design, a cool Pokemon. The fact that it can fuse with other machines is pretty cool. And the design for the Pokedex is pretty fun, cool looking too. It's actually designed to have a Rotom. He's got like little arms and stuff. He talks to you. That's pretty cool. That can open up the door for stuff. People are wondering if you'll be able to actually communicate with your Pokemon through this. But I don't believe that Rotom gets counted in your Pokedex count simply because when we open the Rotom Pokedex, because I assume we get the Rotom Pokedex right off the bat, which is lends credence to the fact that in that one of those trailers they show the trainer school, which is that right off the beach where that first Pokemon Center is. It's that next building. It's that big green building off of that. That's the Pokemon Center. You can mark your destination on there, which is interesting. It's either going to make traveling easy for new players, make setting waypoints easier for traveling, or just make exploration much more extensive. Either way, it's going to be a very interesting feature to deal with. So basically the map is also... I don't know if you're going to get a map, because the Rotom Pokedex seems to double as your map in that sense as well. But it's a cool idea. Basically, that being said, though, because you get the Rotom Pokedex, you must get the Rotom with the Pokedex. I guess he doesn't count towards your Pokedex number. But, touching on that now, the animation. The animation, obviously, between Gen 5, which was still a little chibi... I don't know. Alright, yeah, so go take that wood. Go take that board. She just likes playing with those things. For no reason, really. The animation... Obviously, the animation... gap and what's the term? The advancements between Gen 5 and Gen 6 were groundbreaking, like astounding groundbreaking. We're going 3D models now, no more of these little chibi ones, even though I still like playing the chibi ones, they're still fun. The little pixelated one. No, we got these full-on 3D characters with chibi-sized heads and eyes. They still are designed kind of chibi in Gen 6. Gen 7, however, while obviously you can, even looking at the graphics, you can tell that it is still, they've still improved upon what they created in Gen 6. The graphic, it looks more cleaned up, looks more refined. Plus, the region itself looks beautiful, and the colors pop, so it's going to look beautiful, I have no doubt. But you look at the character design specifically, they are no longer chibi style drawings. They are RPG. They are legitimate, like anatomically accurate. Mostly, obviously, you're gonna have some liberties taken, but generally speaking, they are anatomically correct in terms of their head shape. Their head's not bigger than their body, which makes it look like a legitimate RPG. Also, the camera angle looks different as well. It looks like it's closer than, say, in some of the... Because as much as I love X and Y and ORAS, there are parts, though, where it looks like it's just a 3D version of what you were doing in Ruby and Sapphire. It's just this eagle-eyed camera angle right there, just, you know, aerial view of you walking. So, I mean, and it does look like does look to be a couple moments like that, like when you're walking, you're probably like entering some areas, like going from the Pokemon Center to the trainer school showed that there is a bit of an angle, but it's not as extreme. So, Domino, stop ruining my video, Domino, with all your painful puppiness. All right, hold on. You want this? All right, hold on. Sorry, folks. Go get it. That's an entire bureau drawer. The handle to a bureau drawer. That's the entirety of that. She's having fun dragging that around. Now she sidetracked me. Oh, the camera angle. The camera angles gives us it really feels more like an RPG, like you would be playing on like a PC or a game system, not just a handheld, which I love that. I love that feel to it. I feel that gives more immersion to the world, and I love that factor about it. Moving on to the new Pokemon, we have 13 new confirmed Pokemon, but right now we only have 5. We got the starters. When I say technically, obviously I'm including their evolutions. So we got the starters, whatever their evolutions are. We have our 2 legendaries. Then we have the weird deer-dog Pokemon. Where some people are thinking it's a deer, some people are thinking it's a dog. I'm leaning towards the dog right now because someone's keeping it as a pet. We have that one that was briefly shown in a trailer. And we have the woodpecker Pokemon that or cardinal, the bird Pokemon, this region's bird that we saw spoiled in the very first trailer. So that gives us 13, plus probably they'll each have at least 1 evolution, so let's move up to 15 new Pokemon. Hello, Domino. Now, Ken Sugimura jokes like, how many new Pokemon? Oh, there's gonna be at least 13 or 10 new Pokemon. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, we already got more than 10 new Pokemon, and that's not something she should have gotten a hold of. But whatever. She just loves to tear things up. So on the subject of how many we're getting, that's just that can't be answered right now. I hope it's more, because we're probably going to get Mega Evolutions. There's hinting that we're going to do the whole Synchro thing or something like that, which we'll see how that plays out. I'm not someone who hates Mega Evolutions, but I don't love them either. Frankly, I would have just been fine with more evolutions. It just, that's all I can say about it. Just, they're fun sometimes. I mean, I still use them, but whatever. As for that, though, 15 already if we're counting all those the evolutions. Maybe even 16 if the birds got 2 evolutions. Because they want to try to cover each type, which means you're getting at least, I don't know how many new Pokemon we're getting. That's 5 types right there. You're getting at least another 7 or another 13 new Pokemon just for covering the types. But if I were to guess, they're probably going to go the route of, say, anywhere between 50 on the low side, because that would give you enough room to have all the types plus some more Pokemon for the new region. That'd be low in my opinion. That would just be too low. They're probably going to go anywhere, though, from between 50 to 100. I would be perfectly fine if each new region just gave us 100 new Pokemon. Just go the Johto route. Because you had enough balance of the old and the new in Johto to make it fun and fresh when catching new Pokemon, but still an old Pokemon you could fall back on if the new ones weren't your faves. And Kalos and Hoenn, things like Sinnoh, Kalos, Hoenn, they do that as well. They have old Pokemon as well as new Pokemon, so it works to their advantage to do that. And I think that's what they're obviously going to do that here because we've seen Corsola and Luvdiscs in a Luvdisc in the Mosquito. In the professor's lab, in the aquarium next to him. We've also seen a Meowth. We've also seen a Slowpoke on the beach. So it's pretty much confirmed that old Pokemon will be, or older generation Pokemon will be in this region. It just makes sense. That being said, what the ratio is going to be is anyone's guess. I'm going to say 100 new Pokemon. I didn't even go above the 50. 70 to 100 new Pokemon. I'm going to maybe conservatively say 80, which, when you think about the region's Pokedex, means, and there's 4 main islands, 20 new Pokemon per island. That's doable. And again, you're including evolutions of these Pokemon, too, in that number. So 20 new Pokemon, you could probably find the starter bird and starter new bug on there. They probably got 3-stage evolution, give or take. So that's 6 right there, plus the starters. So that's another 9. That's 15. We know you got the normal type deer thing, dog thing there. So that's probably got an evolution. So that's 17. That's 3 other Pokemon you include. They don't have to evolve, or maybe they do. So if you got 80 for 20 per island, that's a good ratio, I think. Hell, even just 100. That's 25 new Pokemon per the island. We know also that the Pikachus, I think, can be found wild on the island. So the first one. So yeah, I think it can totally work that way. But we'll eventually see how that happens. Talked about that. Let's talk about the characters real quick. And the battle animation battle animation, to go back to the animation real quick, is also really interesting that we see the trainer behind the Pokemon fighting. We're getting this landscape shot. The circle's not there anymore. We got spectators. All of this just is just looking great. We haven't reached that point yet. Excuse me. Domino, really, Domino? You're just stealing all the wood for no reason? I think she does it for the attention, honestly. And you're getting the attention. Yeah, you spoiled little dog. But we love her. So, yeah, we haven't gotten to that whole, when you throw the Pokemon out there, you're really like a level 5 Pokemon. You actually play as your Pokemon, even though you're the trainer. You'll choose the attack, and you'll fight. It's pretty much like Pokemon Tekken, more or less. Or Pokecan, I think it's called. So basically, like that, except in the actual game. We haven't gotten there yet. Maybe one day we will, but we'll take what we got, basically. The characters, of course, we got our trainer, male and female trainers. There's nothing special really about them at the moment. They look pretty generic. We know customization's back. We know you can change your hairstyle, skin tone, all that. Kukui is the actual Hala, and Kukui is the professor who studies moves. He'll sometimes test them out on himself. And hence, in one of the trailers, we hear this whole sound of clearly he was taking the brunt of a move at one point. His lab is that beach house we see on the beach in the corner of the first island. So that is where his lab is, which then actually now begs the question: in the starting town, what is that big building? What is that big building in the starting town? Is that where Hala lives? Is that possible? Here's a concept which I don't think anyone's ever thought. I don't think we've ever done this concept. What if there is a gym in your starting town? That big building is maybe a gym in your starting town that you cannot access right away. That is the last gym you go to, maybe. What if that is the case? The strongest gym is located in your town, and you can't. Maybe Hala's the gym leader. I mean, I don't think that, but that's something I don't think they have ever done. I mean, we've started out in cities, things along those lines. I didn't play Black and White 2, so I don't know if they changed some stuff up where their first starting town was a gym town. But it still begs the question that what if that big building is in fact a gym? I don't think any of us have actually considered that option, because we're just assuming that because I was assuming the whole time that was the lab. It would have made sense. The lab is almost always located in your starting town. The only exceptions, I believe, are in the 4th gen, Black and White 2. And in 6th gen. So that, 50-50. But generally speaking, we expect, or they're very close by. I mean, like, we know the Pokemon Lab is down the route, which you can either go through the tall grass or not for the route. But overall, it didn't occur to me until recently that maybe that's a gym. Anything's possible. I mean, there's no Pokemon Center in that town, so it would be odd if that were the case. I don't think it. Now just saying that, I don't think it is, but anything's possible, and it'd be cool if it was. I think it's just more like a big house. Maybe it's where Hala lives. Who knows? Hala, we still don't know his role, but some people are thinking maybe how one of the rivals is related to Hala, which, besides skin tone, it's possible. There's two theories with Hal and Lily. Let's talk about Hal. Let's talk about Lily real quick. Is that Hal is clearly one of your main rivals. You're going to have two, because that seems to be the route they go this time. He seems fun-loving. He seems likable to a degree. He seems like, not all smile thing. He likes a pastry that's kind of like a donut in Hawaii. And Lily is the mysterious assistant of the professor who does not like making Pokemon battle. And she's a bookworm, and she's not an assistant because she wants to be. She's an assistant for personal reasons. So there's a theory going around that Lily might be actually your main rival, because Hal apparently chooses whatever starter is weak to your starter, whereas the normal main rival chooses the one strong against it. That still leaves room for one more, and we know Lily is actually, based on where we see her, she seems to also be a trainer of some kind. She doesn't seem to like making Pokemon battle, though, and doesn't like being a trainer in that regard. So the question is she a main rival? And okay, there was a mistake. Gotcha, mosquito. Is she your main rival? Which would be interesting. First female main rival that's not dependent on gender. That'd be cool. But also, Lily's role is really up in the air right now, obviously, and that's good. I like the fact as much as because I do these videos because I want to know at the very least the new Pokemon that are going to show up. I'm going to do the best I can to avoid story notes for this game. I really am. I'm not going to watch any Let's Plays of this until I get a chance to play it, and then I'm going to watch people play the game and be like, yay! No, I'm gonna do the best I can to avoid spoilers for this game's story, because the story is what's going to interest me the most. Who the evil team is, we don't know, all that. Bringing that up, what if Lily is actually because she sounds a little bit like an NS character, a lot of people have pointed out, and it's true, she does. What if she kind of is in conjunction with the evil team? Possible, and then she learns the error of her ways when trying to maybe stop you from complete. Who knows? Of course, we got our legendaries. We got Solgaleo. We got Lunala. I've heard some people kind of down on them. I mean, the Psychic Steel thing we didn't see coming. Ghost Psychic also we didn't quite see coming either, but it's more expected. The Psychic Steel one was weird for the Pokemon that's supposed to be an embodiment of the sun. But I've heard a lot of people, because my sister likes the sun one, I like the moon one, so we're good on that. We're still in debate on who, because we both want to start with Rowlet for obvious reasons. honestly, I just like Litten. I mean, I don't really hate any of these starters, actually. And Popplio, I think, gets a little bit of an unfair rap. I do believe that Litten's probably my least favorite just because it's a cat. We've had cat Pokemon before. Yeah, it's probably going to turn into a tiger, and maybe when I see its evolutions, designs, and all that stuff, that might change. But right now, Rowlet stands as my favorite. Popplio actually is my second favorite. But overall, I mean, it does seem... It does seem like... where was I going? Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh no, I was sorry. It does seem like the design for Solgaleo is slightly on the lazy side. It's a lion. That's all. It's basically in this case psychic metal lion, and whereas Lunala at least is kind of like is sort of like a bat, but it's also a ghost at the same time, and a little vampiric and celestial. Whereas Solgaleo looks like a lion. Almost, in fact, he looks frankly like a Digimon. That's one of the reasons where I was not a big fan. I mean, I don't hate his design, but by any stretch of me, it's a cool looking design. Not just for, but not for. It looks more like an ultimate level or like an Armor of Digivolve Digimon, basically. So I don't hate on Solgaleo that much. It's just he's not my favorite. I prefer Lunala, and frankly, most of the time we almost never, me and my sister and most people, never really use legendaries on their team. I mean, I'm currently replaying Soul Silver. And I'm using Lugia on my team right now because I like Lugia, and I just wanted to have him on the team for a change. Sometimes you'll play with him on your team. That's just the way you work. Sometimes you play with your legendary on your team. Most of the times, I don't. You'll just catch you and be like, I caught you! Yeah! Boo! Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo-doo! Yeah! So that's just how that happens. But no, that's pretty much all we know for certain. Sorry, I thought I heard my phone going off. That's all we know for certain in Pokemon Sun and Moon right now. I mean, there's a lot of speculation we can do, and I'm certain I'll do videos like I'm going to do one more after this on the subject, but on different subjects that we can speculate about. But for what we know so far, that's pretty much what we know so far. Plus, there's like a QFA or QF or FAQ, whatever, scanner that you can scan for things, Pokemon facts, or Pokemon in general. So that's interesting. Yeah, it's just kind of whatever. But no, that's my thoughts on what we know so far. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Back in a little bit with one